Ladies and mostly gentlemen, this is something I wasn't 100% I was going to make a video about, but I feel like basically there's a clip going around of me using this add-on on stream, showing off the functionality, and it's not the whole picture. So I thought a whole video kind of explaining what it does, why it's bad, this should not be a thing. So before we get into all of that, let's just jump back to BlizzCon 2018 and see what Ian Hazzikostas said about add-ons.
Now, finally, probably the thorniest area here, add-ons. This is one that we're still actually figuring out, and that we welcome discussion with the community and add-on authors regarding. Way back in 2005, 2006, add-ons could do some things that they can't do today. Some very powerful things, like making intelligent decisions regarding spell casting, spell selection, targeting, canceling your casts if they weren't going to be effective. And those functionality was removed in Burning Crusade. Now, using modern author knowledge and the overall sophistication of the community, combined with that old tool set, you could pretty much write add-ons or macros that could automate playing your class, where you just push the same button over and over again, it does your rotation perfectly, it picks the right targets, and so forth. That's something that we feel is antithetical to the spirit of World of Warcraft, whether it was in 2005 or today. And so those functions will not be available in the modern UI. On the other end of the spectrum, though, there's stuff that's been added to the UI API since then that allows for the creation of add-ons that communicate with each other and can be used to create social networks within the game. We're actually kind of suspicious of these and skeptical about the possibility of add-ons reproducing some of the functionality that we've deliberately removed from Classic that we feel could be harmful to the authentic experience. And we know that once it's out there, saying just don't use it if you don't want it isn't good enough, because it will start to become part of the fabric. And so we may be restricting some of those new things as well. We're likely going to find some kind of middle ground that combines the old and the new here, with a goal towards making sure that the vast majority of the add-ons that people know and expect function with the goal of an authentic experience.
Okay, so now we've got that out of the way, let's talk about ClassicLFG. So this is an add-on that has been around for probably a couple weeks now. It's just got a bit more publicity because Icy Veins posted about it, kind of got the ball rolling on Twitter. It does work in retail, so this is the way we're going to test it. I'm currently on the PTR because I don't want to spam up any general chats in the retail thing. So yeah, this is an add-on essentially putting the looking for group feature in a very not as intense. It doesn't teleport you to the dungeon or anything like that, but this is essentially a group finder add-on similar to the pre-made group finder, which is in Battle for Azeroth. So what does this do? Why is it bad? And yeah, let's just kind of run through the features here. So the finding group part essentially just filters the chat. So even if people aren't using the add-on, if someone said looking for more DM, it would come up on this list, and you would be able to whisper the party leader, and what that does is essentially just whispers them saying a phrase that you have predetermined. In this case, it's default as invite please. That's not the end of the world. Like, a chat filter is not the end of the world. The chat's going to be absolutely insane anyway when Classic launches. There's going to be a ton of people in there looking for groups and whatever. So actually having a filter to look for specific phrases in the chat is not the end of the world. It's the other features of this add-on which make it the worst, in my opinion. So the create group feature. So if you were to create a group, so let's say Dead Mines. So you type in Dead Mines, select dungeon, Dead Mines, description, need all or something, right? So what you do, you'd list your group and it would post in the general chat or any channel that you choose it to post in. So say if there's a world chat, you could say it to post in there. Say if you're in a city, you could say it to post city. Local defense, you could do that if you're doing a PvP, or I think it has its own channel, but it's kind of buggy, it doesn't really do anything. So yeah, you could post this in the general chat and set the interval. So my interval currently is 60 seconds, so I could walk away and leave it to post every 60 seconds. I could go on my questing and kind of ignore the fact that this add-on's happening and just kind of run around Westfall or whatever doing my quests while the add-on is looking for a group automatically in the channel I specified. Now, what will happen is when people start to whisper me, I can have it on auto-invite. So if I have it on auto-invite, what it will do is as soon as they say the word inv, which is the key word, so as soon as they say like any word that has the word inv in it, so like invite or please invite or anything like that, it'll put them on the list and auto-invite them. I won't have to click anything. I could have the add-on closed and it will auto-invite these people to my group and I wouldn't need to worry about it. Now, what happens is, if I don't have the auto-invite thing on, I could just leave the add-on on, come back in like 10 minutes, and have a long list of people who want to come to my Dead Minds group with a breakdown of their spec. So the add-on picks up, because this is retail, it's kind of scuffed, but essentially what it does is it picks up the role of the character is from their spec. Obviously this is a little bit fruity because you could be a Fury tank or something like that, but essentially, you know, if you've got more spec into protection, it will list you as a tank. So you could scroll down the list, have a look what you've got, and kind of just pick and choose what you want to invite from that, and just invite your group. And again, as I said, with the auto invite feature, I would imagine it would only invite, you know, 3 DPS, a tank, and a healer, if you're looking for something like Dead Minds. It also works for raids as well, so you can actually build a pug raid from this. So yeah, so it has auto invite, which is like the worst. So this also has a option to do custom, so you could do like, say, the attack, which is a well-known alliance quest installment, and do it for just like need help or something. And what that'll do is just, again, it will just list it in that general chat, saying the attack, which is the quest name, and again, the same feature where people will whisper you saying inv or whatever, and it will come up on a shortlist, or if you have auto invite on, it'll auto invite them to the group, and this will only post on the channel that you specify. In this case, it is general installment. So, what else does it do? Now, the other thing that it does is that if you turn off the broadcast dungeon group in chat, it also has its kind of own way of making a group where it doesn't even involve the chat at all. And I tested this with Harry on the PTR. Shout out to Harry for helping me out with this really early this morning. I really do appreciate that. So essentially, you don't need to use the chat. If other people have the add-on, they can find your group without needing to type anything in the chat. So, for example, like we made a group, he found it on the list, no chat was exchanged at all in the chat, and we were in a group together, just like that. Like, didn't need to chat to each other, could have been a random person, could have been anyone. We just grouped together without talking to each other or anything like that, and it's kind of bad. It's kind of bad, yeah. I don't like it personally. Again, that's my opinion. I know this is like so split down the community, looking on Reddit and looking on various forums. It's very split where people are like, get rid of this add-on, this doesn't need to exist, and there's other people saying, well, this is kind of not the worst thing in the world. And again, it's opinion-based. I personally think it kind of ruins the spirit of vanilla. There's not a lot of social interaction going on there. There's not a lot of manual work going on there. There's a lot of automation as such with the auto-invite feature and the way that it kind of periodically spams the chat. I know people are saying, oh yeah, just make a macro and click that, but again, like, you have to remember to click it and things like that. This is kind of taking your mind off of building groups where you can just kind of go off and do your own quests while this is kind of creating or making a shortlist of groups for you to, or people for you to invite to your Dead Minds groups, for example. Now, one of the biggest arguments is, and I see this a lot, and people are talking about an add-on called Call to Arms. Now, Call to Arms is an add-on back from Vanilla. I personally was like 14, 15 years old when Vanilla was out. I don't specifically remember this add-on at all. The only way I've been told about this add-on was from the last couple days. If you played Vanilla and you have a better memory than me, do you ever remember an add-on called Call to Arms? Now, that add-on essentially does work in a similar way, but it doesn't have the auto-invite feature. Essentially, that add-on pretty much just filters the chat to a certain degree. So it'll filter the chat, kind of figure out what groups people are looking for. You'll be able to kind of filter words and phrases to see if you could be like, okay, let's look for a group with a rogue. You know, I'm a rogue. Let's go find a group that needs a rogue, sort of thing. And again, I'm not too bothered by something like that, because as I said, the chat will be absolutely spammed constantly when Classic launches, because there's going to be so many people playing it, and something to filter the chat, not the end of the world, as I said. So that's Call to Arms, as I said, was in Vanilla. I don't specifically remember it. I know a lot of people on private servers use it, also VQ as well. I don't know a lot about VQ, but I know people talk about that one as well. But yeah, this is the add-on. I really hope that Blizzard do break it, honestly. Like, the auto-invite stuff, the creating groups inside itself without any chat interaction or anything in the world chat at all, and the automated messaging. I don't know how Blizzard would break it, though. That's kind of the issue for me, because in essence, it's quite simple. It's a very simple add-on. that kind of works on timers and stuff, and it's one of those things where if Blizzard break this, then what other add-ons will they break? This was always going to be a problem with Classic, specifically because, you know, there's that new API, there's a new functionality, there's so much more you can do. You know, you've got weak cores, you've got DBM, you've got all these really advanced add-ons now, and this was just going to be, this was inevitable. This was absolutely inevitable, and you look back on anyone, you know, in the past year talking about stuff like this, they knew, you know, the writing was on the wall, this was going to come, and unfortunately it's here, and it's here before launch. So the point of this video was really just to kind of get it out there, show you guys what this does, hopefully get this out to the right people where Blizzard can kind of look at it and go, okay, this is not okay, or this is okay. That's the thing. Blizzard could be like, okay, this is fine. You know, I don't speak for Blizzard. In my personal opinion, I don't feel like it does have, you know, the spirit of Classic as such. And as I said, Call to Arms did exist in vanilla, but I just don't, as I said, I haven't heard of Call to Arms until recently. Like, it's not one of those add-ons where people always talk about it, like Atlas Loot or Decursive or one of those legendary add-ons from back in the day. But yeah, I want to know, personally, this is, you know, all about you guys. I want to know what you guys think. I want to know, let me know in the comments below what you think of this add-on. Is this something you want? Is this something you like? Is this something you don't want? Is this something that should be removed? And if you did have to have it, what functions would you like? And as I said, like, the filtering, the chat isn't the end of the world, and the add-on developer is clearly very, very talented, and I really do hope that you use that talent to make something that is useful for Classic, because currently, as of right now, we do not have a working threat meter in Classic, so that's one that, you know, we kind of need going into Classic. But again, guys, do let me know in the comment section below all about this and what you think. Yeah. So before I go, I'd like to give a massive shout out to amazing patrons, YouTube channel members, and Twitch subs. You guys are awesome. If you want to support the channel in any of those ways, links are down below. So leave a like on this video, guys, if you liked it, and subscribe if you haven't. I've also got a partner Discord channel with over 3,000 members, and I'm also now streaming on twitch.tv/MrGM. We've been checking out this add-on on stream. Classic WoW coming up very, very soon. Monday, it is launching. Very excited for that. Going to be streaming a ton of Classic when that launches. Really excited. So guys, follow me on Twitch if you haven't already. And with that, guys, I'll see you next time.